All right, so welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin.
I'm Tarsha.
This is Conversations with the Crawleys, who do conversations about faith, family, relationships, and we do recaps, reviews, and commentary on some of our favorite shows. And this is a catch-up episode because we've been MIA. We had a few challenges just as far as getting episodes and getting some things accomplished. But we're back and we're going to catch up. This is all about Lauren and Orion from Married at First Sight. The last couple episodes, so we got a lot of stuff to cover.
Lord Jesus, help us.
So anyway, look, you already know what to do. Do those things. We're gonna jump into it. Listen,
share,
like, subscribe, share. So, long story short, okay.
It's a long story.
So we can try and catch up where we've been. So I know we have not talked about the dinner where she starts to share that she had sex 2 months before they got married.
Dinner between the two of them.
Yes, with them. So shares that she had sex 2 months before she got married to him. And he was like, oh, well, that just takes sex off the table for me.
Well, to make it a little more broader, because they were talking about sex. Again, they've been having very good adult conversations, okay?
Go ahead and get the background.
And so...
what he said is what he said.
Yeah, but we want to put context to what they're saying, how they got to that point, right? And so they were just sharing about what they like as far as contact and having an intimate relationship. And which I thought was all adult, great conversation, because you need to know what your partner like, what you like, and everything.
Absolutely.
And then, she shares like, would you like to know how long it's been? Because at first it seemed like they might have been on that journey, like they're gonna get there quickly. And then because he was starting making statements about, want to taking it serious and everything like that. And so when she shares, then he goes into, just 2 months ago, like, it seems like you're not a part or you're not taking the process seriously. And she was like, what do you mean? Because 2 months ago, I didn't know I was going to be selected. So when I did find out, I, at that point, decided not to have sex anymore. And so they're going a little bit back and forth. And then that's when, she's asking, because at this point, he stops talking.
Right.
And he says that now sex is off the table. And she's like, why? And then she knew that the conversation was not progressing. So she's like, let's just be quiet. So she's like, we can sit here and eat in silence, because if we're not getting anywhere and you're making me upset, and now I got all these thoughts and emotions coming up, it's rather for us to enjoy our meal than to escalate something.
Yeah. So in true Orion fashion, he starts, well, I'm not good with us being quiet. We need to talk. She's like, no, I don't want to talk. Let's have it. She's like, I don't feel safe. Because again, what he in essence did, and they kind of talked about this on one of the after parties, was that he kind of slut shamed her, right? He kind of was like, well, you out here hoeing around. And she's like, that's not even the case.
No.
So then he goes with well, I'm sorry if you felt. She's like, whoa, time out. No, we're not going to do that. That's not what we're going to do around these parts. Don't talk about you sorry if I felt. You know how I felt. You know what you did to make me feel that way. So either you're going to give an apology or you're not going to give an apology.
So she was like, you ain't trying that on me, because I'm smart enough to know.
To be gaslit.
Right. And also, don't backtrack, because he started to backtrack.
Yes.
Because she was like, so because I had sex 2 months ago, now sex is off the table. Oh, no, it's not because of that. Okay, well, at first you just said it was. So another thing is, he's not standing on what he's saying. Don't say something, and then when I confront you with it, you go back on that. That's not what we're going to do. We're going to be very upfront and say how we feel and not try to backtrack.
Yes.
And so she calling them out. She's like, we're not going to be doing this.
Yeah. So and I'm there because I'm trying to woosah.
Yeah, woosah.
All right. So she even talks about how she gives him grace that he was not his best self.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, look, I'm trying to give grace. We're trying to get this together. We're trying to figure this out, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
So he recognizes that he's not as touchy with her and everything. They do have a conversation, or I know he has a conversation with Dr. P. Well, actually, they both do have a conversation with Dr. Pia. And in my opinion, he gaslights and throws Lauren under the bus as she's the cause of this conversation and this feeling, right? And then he tells her that he doesn't feel like he can come back from the comment that she made, which again, okay, we're going to talk about this right now. This whole issue where she used the term. Well, he asked her, has she ever used the term, a derogatory term like Redskin? She's like, no, I don't even know what that means. So that whole conversation, right?
Right. So even the start of that, you see the innocence. I've never heard of it.
I've never used it, and I've never heard it. I don't know what it means.
I don't know what it means.
So again, just to recap, he was, I guess he was sweating. He was steam, whatever.
And probably out in the sun because they've been to the beach already.
Correct. So she's looking at his complexion and says, oh, I get it. You look at your nose, you're red, right? He's like, no. So he gives her the meaning that he gave her, right? Now, here's the thing. I do have some Native American blood flowing through my veins, right? But I also know that the story that he gave, or the definition that he gave, is one that can be used, or that has been used, as far as why that is. But the term itself, Redskin, has actually been used by Native Americans to describe themselves historically as well, right? But it has, because of the connotation of, especially those that were settlers, colonizers, whatever, used it, it became a derogatory term, just like you might say darky, okay? So she was not saying it in a context of that manner.
No, not at all.
Now, here's the other thing that to me tells me, and this helped me to see exactly what I think is going on with Orion. Because he says that later on in the conversation, I think it was with Dr. Cal, with Pastor Cal.
Yes.
I gave him doctorate too. With Pastor Cal, he says that he's only experienced racism twice in his life. One was... I can't
believe that.
Which I don't believe, right? But one was, he said, by his own tribe, and he said they called him the term apple. Very key there, right? Because he said basically what? Red, oh, there's that term Redskin. Red on the outside, white on the inside. So he is biracial, okay? So it would be the same as if we were to call a black person an Orion. Similar context or similar concept, right? So in my opinion, I think that part of what we're seeing with Orion is that there's an insecurity regarding his Native American heritage. And so he's going above and beyond to prove to everyone that he is Native American. I'm not questioning the fact that he's Native American. I'm simply questioning how he presents it, where he is making this the issue that is going to keep his marriage from moving forward, when her intent, and even what she's been doing afterwards to try and rectify the harm that he feels that he did to her.
Correct.
She's trying to rectify that, but it's such a barrier to him because he's got to prove to everyone around him that he's Native American and he's a proud Native American.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I wouldn't want anyone to use any term derogatory about anybody's culture at all. But the innocence in her saying she didn't know, the innocence of her just jokingly talking about it. And then when she found out he got offended, was so upset that it did offend her, that she did everything that she knew in her power to do to rectify the situation. And again, having mature conversations and trying to navigate those conversations and do it well. Even when she extended grace to him, concerning the whole situation about the sex thing.
Because let me also remind you, he did say that he's used the N-word before.
And she didn't get pissed off.
She didn't get pissed off.
That's true.
She didn't turn him away. She didn't say, oh, The ancestors are coming after you. She didn't do any of that.
And I just can't recover because when you were a teenager and you heard a song, you used the N-word. So she gets it because he said it was what? In his ignorance,
right,
as a teenager.
But he says that he feels like he was a minority in his relationship.
And that blew me. I said, when is there a level of minority? I need us all as minorities.
Wait. But let's talk about it this way, because how are you going to tell a black woman, which, if we're honest, if we're talking the totem pole, if you will, and I recognize I'm using that term because that's a term that we kind of use, but in the hierarchy, that's an even better word.
Yeah, it's the same hierarchy.
For the hierarchy, black women, and if we're honest, black women are pretty much at the bottom of the hierarchy because they are what we would consider a double minority. They are African American, which is a minority, and they are women, which is another minority group. So how are you going to tell a woman, especially if can I just be honest, and I'm not trying to be offensive. So if I am, I apologize in advance. But we're talking a man who, if you don't tell me that he's Native American, I don't know that he's Native American. He looks like a Caucasian man with just long hair. So he doesn't present to me physically as a minority. So to say that within your relationship, you feel like a minority with this woman who is trying to give you grace, who is trying to, who is bent not just over backwards, she's doing backflips, tumble and everything to try and rectify a situation that you have made to be this massive Mount Everest of an issue, but you feel like the minority.
I was like, dude, really? We going there? That's what you're doing right now. I was like, I don't see it. I don't see it.
So he says that she has attacked his community, his culture, whatever. I'm on TV and the entire Native American population is looking at me, watching what I do.
Back. And I'm like, come on, y'all. You know, I think we have to represent first ourselves. So when we show up, if you're on TV or anything, you represent first and foremost yourself and you represent your family. Then after that, then yes, your culture, your background,
your community, whatever
your community,
yes,
it'll show up.
Yeah.
But when your character is not showing in well light, when others you'll give grace to, but someone who now you're saying is your wife, you're not showing grace to. And someone who's saying, I give you grace when you've done things wrong and you still not showing. To me, that's first with your character.
Right. Yeah.
First.
Yep.
You know, and you never spoke it. Because she's giving him opportunities like, are we good? Are we beyond this now?
Yes.
So don't fake like we are. Then when something else comes up, you can pull it out and use it again.
Right.
And then use it against me.
So in that episode, we saw where she took off her ring first, or she took off her ring.
Yeah, she got upset.
She asked for divorce.
Look, I want divorce.
But here's what we did not know, and the after party helped us to know this, was that he had taken off his ring first.
At some point
before she took off her ring.
And had spent some time alone.
Yes. So now, when they're leaving the honeymoon, again, this is shortly after the blow up that they had. They're leaving the honeymoon. Some of the other couples are like, she ain't wearing her ring. What's going on? So then on the plane ride back, evidently he tells her, you know what? I've had a change of heart. Let's do a reset. Let's just start all over. She's like, okay. Let's do that. Because again, she's trying to, she's giving him grace after grace. Listen, if she, nothing is greater than the grace of God. Let's just say that. But she giving a lot of grace to this man for 7 days.
For 7 days. Because when you tell me that's it, okay? You tell me that's it. Because we've talked about this when we met, when we decided that we were falling in love, that we were in love, we were going to get married. we say that the word divorce
does not come out of our mouths.
Come out our mouth
unless we actually wanted it.
Unless we were serious and wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
So here you are. I'm on my honeymoon. You're telling me it's over. You done took your ring off and you made very detailed statements of why you don't want to be with me.
Yeah.
We're good. At least I was in Mexico for a week.
Yep.
And it wasn't too bad.
That's cool. Stay on the side of your side of the bed with the bonnet. I'll go sleep somewhere else with my bonnet.
We're good. I don't have to extend any more to you than what I've already done.
Because he hasn't earned it. Now,
That's
yes,
true.
grace really can't be earned, right?
It can be earned.
But it can be abused. It can be abused.
That's good.
Right? And he is abusing the heck out of her grace.
That's good. That's good. And we have to come to the point. It's like, okay, don't say it unless you have time to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't give hope and then snatch it away.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the hardest thing is like, hey, I'm really feeling bad and I really want to take some time to think through it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm contemplating maybe us doing a reset, but I really need to think through because when I say something to you, I want to mean it.
Yes.
Because this is also showing another pattern about character. When you say something, you need to mean it.
And own it.
And own it.
Mm-hmm.
And really, before you open your mouth, giving people some hope, and then you just flip the table up and just change your mind.
Yeah.
It's just, it brings people through a roller coaster of emotion.
Yep.
And so, you know, at some point, I'm like, girl, you don't need to be crying over this dude. He ain't worth the tears. But emotionally, it has to be hard when you're thinking, okay, we got an upside. Okay, we're going to make this work. Okay, I see that this is possible. And then you turn around and you, again, change your mind and just creating this roller coaster of emotion, which she mentioned several times. So we just get to the point where they didn't move in.
Mm-mm.
And they do meet with Dr. Pia, and, you know, Lauren sharing her concerns, Lauren saying, you know, he's saying one thing and then he turned around, he's doing something else opposite than what he said he was going to do. And then he goes, nope, I can't do this. I want a divorce. Dr. Pia mentioned about him having fear, and this is his way to control. This is your way to try to control this situation. I don't think so. Oh, yes, sir. She goes, oh, yes. You're trying to control it because of your own fears. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to say that it's not, right? People have fears and how they come out, and they come out in different ways. Mm-hmm. And that's why we extend grace to our partners, because we don't know how to be in a relationship. We have to learn how to be with the person that we're with. Mm-hmm. And we try to grow and mature in that. Yeah. And we see that there's no maturity in him for what's going on currently. Right. You know? And so he was like, yeah, I want to change my mind. And Lauren's like, I am not going to force somebody to stay with me who don't want to be with me. Good. So it's good. We need to go ahead and go our separate ways. Have your life, I have mine. And so they decided to get a divorce. Mm-hmm. Which I think for her is good, because she shouldn't be walking on eggshells around him. She should be able to explore and learn his culture just like he has to learn hers. Yep. So I wish them well. I wish her well. Yeah. I wish him well because he has a lot of learning to do. I wish him healing and wholeness. How's that? There we go. I wish him healing, wholeness, and stability. Yes, because everyone needs that. Yes. And we should grant that for everyone. Yes. And so we knew they weren't going to last. We saw it coming. Just based off of her, but strongly based on him. Yes. And so, you know, people can say the right things to get on a show, and at the end of the day, marriage is work. Yep. Marriage is deciding, I'm going to stick through some things when it's going to be hard. It's not going to be pretty. And I'm going to give grace even as I'm given grace. Give both grace.
So his unwillingness to give grace as he was receiving grace is really the downfall of this relationship.
Pretty much. Yep.
So that's it. So I guess we probably, we may have some conversations about Lauren and Ryan because they'll probably pop up here and there through episodes. But another one bites the dust out of this season. Mm-hmm. Right now, we are looking at one and a possible maybe.
One and a possible.
Talking about like their spades. Let me say this. We're talking about maybe a possible out of all of them because I still am kind of on the fence on even the couple that we're saying might be the one. Mm-hmm. So that's it for this one. We'll see y'all next time. Have a great one. Be blessed.
Bye.